I only got one more night, I'm gonna leave out loud goodbye.
This gonna be the type of night they make movies
What up?
about.
What up?
Bitch
What
niggas.
up? It's your boy, Mr. Von. Mr. Von Channel Sweatbox. We back. We live. We active here on the channel. Yes, indeed. And we are broadcasting live from Rihu Palace, Costa Mujeres, Cancun, Mexico. As you see, I got a drink in my hand because I'm celebrating. I've been celebrating all week, but I'm still here to do some work for y'all. And this is my Spider-Man No Way Home spoiler discussion. Now, I know the movie came out 2 months ago, and I actually saw it 2 months ago, but the channel, I wasn't doing videos at the time, and I didn't get a chance to do it, so better late than never. So let's talk about this movie. Obviously, this is a spoiler alert, so let's get into it from the start, and all the big spoilers. Spoiler alert, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield make their triumphant returns as the multiverse has basically come full circle. It's exploded. We have got the multiverse in the MCU now. So the story basically starts, I'm not going to go blow for blow because you guys basically know the gist of it. After the end of Far From Home, Mysterio revealed that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. Everybody knew. That's where the movie picks up. And it's just chaos from the jump. Spider-Man's trying to figure out what he's going to do about it, and he runs into Aunt May and Happy, who are in the midst of breaking up while they figure this out. And it's crazy because the news comes in. He then hires a lawyer, and the lawyer turns out to be Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil. And it's the Daredevil from the Netflix series, played by Charlie, I don't remember his name, sorry. But yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. So everybody's crazy. Like, so now Daredevil is officially in the MCU. And after the events of Hawkeye, so is Kingpin. So there we go. So Matt Murdock tells them, don't worry, don't have a legal case against you, but you got to fight the court of public opinion. So now he's dealing with the fact that he can't get into college. Ned and MJ can't get into college. Specifically, I think it was Harvard. I think it was Harvard. I'm not sure. But because they know Spider-Man and because of the controversy, so he goes to at first he goes to Doctor Strange, and he's like, can you try it for me? Can you like make a spell to make everybody forget? And so he does. And so he does, and then that's when you see in the trailer he messes up the spell because he wants MJ and them guys to remember that the spell messes up. And Doctor Strange is like, did you even talk to the college people? He was like, oh, well, you had me try to put a spell on the whole world and you didn't even talk to the college admissions? And then he kicks him out the Sanctum Sanctorum. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. So then he goes to the bridge and he meets with the college lady, and that's when you see the Doc Ock attack and everything happens. Again, I'm giving a blow by blow, I don't want to do that. But I'm just the gist of what's going on. So the spell that was cast was the reason Doc Ock and all the other Sinister Six villains came into the MCU. So now Spider-Man has to team up with Doctor Strange and he has to fix it. But then he ends up not wanting to do it because he's like, wait a minute, they're all going to die? If I send them back, they're all going to die. Because if you remember, Doc Ock died. Green Goblin died. Electro died. Crocodile didn't kill not Croc, but the Lizard, he didn't die. He got healed at the end of the movie. So yeah, and same with Sandman. Sandman didn't die. But I like that they have all these villains in it. I loved all that, and I love the fact that there was it shows the morality of Peter Parker, that he was like, nah, I gotta help these people. I can't just send them back and let them die. So I like that, but that puts him at odds with Doctor Strange, so we get that fucking epic, great scene of him and Doctor Strange fighting in the mirror dimension. And when Spider-Man figures out how to beat him, he's like, oh, it's just math. And then he traps him in the mirror. That was hilarious. It was great. One of my favorite scenes, though, is when it was hard. When Strange hit him with the astral and ejected his astral form. And Peter was like, oh, am I dead? He's like, you're not dead. I just separated your astral form. He's like, this is so weird. And he was still able to move because of his spider sense. And then when he climbed back to his body, he was like, that might have been the coolest thing that's ever happened to me, but don't you ever do that again. I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. Man, I'm really a fan of what's his name as Spider-Man. He's done such a good job. Why can't I remember his name right now? But you know who I'm talking about. Tom Holland. Thank you. He's just done such a good job. And him and Zendaya's chemistry and relationship is just, you can see it. And the three of them actually, him, Zendaya, and Ned, both of them, all three of them have great chemistry together. So it's really good. But yeah, that whole scene with Doctor Strange was just awesome and epic. I loved it. And then you get the great scene. I mean, it's probably my favorite scene in the movie. I think it is my favorite scene in the movie. When he takes all the villains back to Happy's place to try to cure him, and then he's working, he fixes Doc Ock, and he's just about to fix Electro, and his spidey sense goes off, and he's walking through the apartment, and you're just like, what's going on, what's going on? And then he shoots, bam, and he gets Goblin, and you realize Goblin's been tricking the whole time, and then it just goes down. Electro trips out, Goblin, and that fight between Goblin and Tom Holland Spider-Man was so epic. When he hops up on his shoulders and he's punching them and Goblin's just laughing like, ah! I was like, oh man, this motherfucker is crazy. You gotta kill him, Peter. You gotta kill him. He's too crazy. That's what I was thinking. You gotta kill him. He's too crazy. Oh, it was just such a great scene. It was so filling. He was just beating Spider-Man's ass when they were just fighting through the floors, punched him through the window. He pulled. I mean, it was a great. It's my favorite scene in the movie. It's my absolutely favorite scene in the movie. Is that scene when he finds out Green Goblin? It's that whole scene, and then the death of Aunt May when she got killed, when the glider hit her. I was like, oh, she got fucked up. It was bad. But then she stands up. I was like, oh, is Disney really gonna do that? I was like, there's no way she's fine after that. They played it off good because she was like, no, and then she hits him with the great power comes great responsibility speech. I loved it. And then when she died, I was like, oh, no, that makes sense because she got fucked up. But it was still great. The misdirect that they did on that was great. And again, Tom Holland, his acting in that scene was just fabulous. When he's like, May, get up. Come on, what are you doing? Get up. Come on. He was just, I mean, oh my God, it was just great. It was great. I love it. Tom Holland's such a good actor, man. Give this man his props. Give this man his flowers. He does a great job of Spider-Man. So then after that, we get the scene where another one of my favorite scenes, when Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland show up at Ned's mother's house or his grandmother's house. and MJ starts throwing the bread at him. He says, why did you do that? He said, I'm trying to see if you have a thing. He said, I have the thing, just not for bread. She throws another piece at him. He's like, you're a very mistrusting person. I respect that. I love it, dude. Andrew Garfield is the greatest Spider-Man ever. I'm sorry. His timing, everything. He was awesome as Spider-Man. When he told Tobey Maguire, he says, are you going to go into battle dressed like a cool youth pastor? Are you going to... It was so great. There's so many moments in the movie that had me. So then all three... And then Tobey Maguire shows up, and they have that cool little face-off where him and Andrew Garfield kind of shoot webs at each other. Ned's mother's like, you guys going to clean up all this webbing you shoot? Or when Ned's mother was like, hey, since you're on the ceiling, can you go get those cobwebs off the corner? This thing crawled across the ceiling and just wiped it. I was like, you guys are so stupid. This show's stupid. It was hilarious. I was in the theater cracking up because it was hilarious. But yeah, man. And for the record, this is probably the only time you guys are going to see me drinking on a movie review. Liquor. I don't know. Let me just divert for a second. I'm in Ryu Palace. I'm in my room. This is an all-inclusive resort. They have a liquor dispenser with 4 different types of liquor. Gin, vodka, rum, and tequila. Right in my room. So anytime I want to drink, I just go up to it like I'm a bartender, pour myself a drink. They got sodas and ice in the refrigerator. I've been mixing drinks all week. Anyway, where was I? You guys can tell I'm pretty tipsy. Where was I? Oh, yes. So the Tobey Maguire comes in, the whole scene with them. They go to see Peter, who's mourning the death of Aunt May, on the rooftop, and he sees the other 2 Spider-Men. He's like, what the heck? He's like, man, I got to send you guys home. We got to do this. But they team up. They work together, and there's that great scene where they're working in the lab, and Ned doesn't know which one to call Peter, so it's like the callback to the Spider-Men pointing at each other. It was great. This movie was great. I can't talk enough about this movie. I'm brushing over so much stuff that I want to talk about. Like, for instance, the whole thing about Doctor Strange. You see, I'm all over the place. The whole thing about Doctor Strange no longer being the Sorcerer Supreme because he got blipped. So Wong is the Sorcerer Supreme, which explains why he's doing all the stuff that he was doing in Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings. And it also explains why that's who they were talking to at the end in the post-credit scene. So yeah, that was great. I like that. Yeah, man, this movie was good. Let me see what else I want to talk about. Let's talk about that last. Let's talk about the last battle. The last fight scene was great. I mean, I love the moment because the last fight scene, it's Sandman, Electro, Lizard, and then Goblin comes in at the end. But it's basically Electro, Sandman, and Lizard. And they're working. Electro's the one that's giving him the most problems. Jamie Foxx's Electro was dope. I like to see. I forgot about it. Let me give Jamie Foxx some props as Electro. I like when he was basically playing Jamie Foxx because the version of himself in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was completely different, and they mentioned that. And I like they kind of mentioned, they kind of explained it off. Not really, you know what I'm saying? But I like the fact that he's different. It works. He seemed to be the most formidable next to Goblin. Goblin actually was the main villain. But Jamie Foxx gave them the most problems, especially in that last battle. They wouldn't have been able to beat him without Doc Ock. Doc Ock comes in, he helps. Obviously, when he repairs Doc Ock's on their side. So Doc Ock was only evil for like 5 minutes. That first scene on the bridge when they have that short battle and then he captures him, when Doc Ock absorbs some of his nanotech and so Peter's able to control him, I thought that was awesome. I thought that was super awesome. Yeah, man. Overall, this movie was great. The ending with that final battle with 3 Spider-Men versus them, that moment when they finally come together, it's like, okay, yo, we're not working well as a team. I was like, it's true, I don't work well as a team. Tom Holland was like, okay, look, I don't want to brag, but I was part of the Avengers. They were like, you were part of the Avengers? That's great. What's that? He's like, you guys don't have the Avengers? He's like, is that a band? Are you in a band? I love that they hadn't heard of the Avengers. I thought it was awesome. So then they have that epic scene of the 3 of them swinging in the battle together. I mean, that is just it's the money shot of the movie. It's the money shot of the movie is them, the epic scene of the 3 Spider-Men swinging in the battle. When Toby swings when Tom Holland swings and he flings his web and they swing on that, it was just dope. It was dope. That was a dope scene to see them all land and they're all fighting. And then we get that scene that we saw from the trailer where they had edited out the other 2 Spider-Men where Andrew Garfield was kicking the Lizard in the face. The whole thing was great. And then that final fight, the 2 things. So then there's a scene when they're fighting on the building and MJ gets knocked off and Tom Holland can't save her, so Andrew Garfield's there to save her and rectify that he wasn't able to save Gwen. And then when he does it, you can tell he's just choked up and he almost, he starts to cry. It was a great scene. It was a great scene. Once again, reiterating the fact that he's just such a good Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield was such a good Spider-Man. So now the calls are coming for him to get another shot. Amazing Spider-Man 3. But, and then that final battle, Doctor Strange comes out the portal and he's got the box and they're getting ready to send everybody back. But then the Goblin stuck a Goblin bomb in there, blew the box up, which ruined the spell, which means the whole reality starts to crack open and you start to see all these other villains. I think you saw Kraven the Hunter, you saw the Rhino, you saw Scorpion. It looked pretty good. That was nice. And so then Doctor Strange can't do it. Peter has to finally come to terms with the fact that he's going to have to sacrifice everybody. He says, if nobody knows I'm Spider-Man, then we can do that, which means he gives up MJ, he gives up Ned, he gives up Happy. Obviously, Aunt May's already gone, so it was a little easier for him to make that decision. But when he does it, he goes and says bye to Ned, he goes and says bye to MJ. He tells him, he says, hey, after this over, I'm going to come find you, and I'm going to explain everything. And they're like, you better. Especially MJ was like, you better. So they do it. He says goodbye to Toby and Andrew. Oh, hold up. I totally skipped over that. I totally skipped over that last fight with him and the Goblin where he just wrecked him. He wrecked the Goblin. It was a great fight. And he was just about to kill him. And Tobey Maguire steps in and stops him. Stops him from killing him. And then he gets stabbed. But it was the most death stab. He gets stabbed. But he's fine. Like, he's fine. He's like, you remember? He said, yeah, I've been stabbed before. So, but anyway, that was a good scene. But then at the end, Ned leads in those guys. Ned, where was I? I'm sorry, I totally spaced because I'm drunk. Okay, yeah. He forgets, Ned leaves and MJ forget him. So he goes, now that he has nobody, he goes to see, he goes to Aunt May's grave. And Happy's there. Happy doesn't know him. So yeah, it's weird. He goes to the shop where MJ and Ned are working and she doesn't know him. And she's still wearing the Black Dahlia necklace, the broken Black Dahlia necklace, but she doesn't know him. And he thinks for a minute about telling her, and then he sees the scar on her head that she's got a bandage on, and he's like, she's safe. I can just keep her safe by not telling her. And he doesn't say anything. He doesn't say anything to him and Ned, to her or Ned. He just leaves. And he gets his own apartment, and so now we see, he makes the new suit, just the classic suit that we know. And then as this movie's closing, you're realizing, oh wow, we just got a 3-movie trilogy that was all his origin story. It was all of the 3 movies that we saw, from Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home. All of that trilogy was his origin story in him becoming the Spider-Man that we all know, the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man that lives in an apartment by himself, that becomes a photographer for the Daily Bugle, who's taking pictures of Spider-Man. That's the Peter Parker we know. Not the Peter Parker who was a part of the Avengers and who was fighting in space and had Stark tech and suits and all that. That's not the Spider-Man. So I love the fact that after 3 solo movies, 2 mashup movies and 3 mashup movies in Avengers and Captain America Civil War, all of that just to get Peter's origin story, to get him to where he's at now as our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man that we know and love, who swings around the neighborhood by himself. I love it. I don't think we've seen the last of MJ and Ned. No matter what direction we go from here, he's still in the MCU, but nobody knows him. So it's definitely like a soft reset. And the option is open for him to go to other, because they had Venom in this movie. So at the end of the movie, you see Venom, because if you saw Venom, spoilers for Venom, Let There Be Carnage. If you saw Venom, Let There Be Carnage, at the end of Venom, Let There Be Carnage, you saw that Venom got transported to the MCU. He wakes up and he sees Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland, Peter Parker. So in this movie, you find out he's been there the whole time. He's just been at a bar in Mexico, where I'm at right now, obviously. He's been at a bar drinking, and the bartender has been telling him about the entire MCU. And then at the end of the story, he just leaves. He ends up getting teleported back because of the spell, obviously, so he ends up getting sent back. But the key thing is he leaves a tiny bit of the symbiote behind in our dimension, in our universe. So now you see how we're going to end up with Spider-Man, Venom in the MCU. They have everything set up now. It's crazy. I like how they did it. The post-credit scenes were, the post-credit scene was Doctor Strange. Was a trailer for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And the other post-credit scene was, I don't remember what the other post-credit scene was. I think it might have been just been the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness trailer. So yeah, if I'm wrong, I'm sure somebody in the comments will tell me. But otherwise, that's my review for Spider-Man No Way Home. Great movie. Great job by Tom Holland and all the cast. I loved it. I'm sure there's stuff I forgot, but whatever. This was a great movie. I loved it. I can't wait to see it again. Let me know what you guys think in your comments below. I'm glad to be back doing videos full time, and of course keep it locked, because as you see, I'm in Mexico, so the Mexico travel vlogs will be coming soon. Cancun, baby. I've been having a great time. So until next time, you know how we do. Oh, and shouts out to the lovely couple that I met at the poolside. Steph and her husband, I think it was her husband or boyfriend, they subscribe to the channel. Shouts out to them. I respect them so much. You were awesome to hang out with. I look forward to chatting with you guys, getting some tips on this TikTok game, so I can do that. Anyway, until next time, you know how we do. I'ma go. Peace. 100.
To the ends with you. I'ma go. To the end with you. I'ma go.